Hey, this is Tony from the Square Genius, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the essentials to building a Squarespace website. I'm going to be going through things like colours, fonts, how to use the blocks, how to add new pages and page sections, and also how to create a shop or a blog on your website. Now, if you're a beginner to Squarespace, this is definitely for you, so let's just dive in. Let's start with the basics. So once you're logged into Squarespace, you will see your website appear on the right, and on the left you'll have a list of settings. So if you click through, you'll see pages, and you'll see a list of what pages you have, and you can also click on design, which takes you into the general design styles of your website. So fonts, colours, animations, etc., which I will go into further onto the video. And the main thing to notice is the edit button on the top left here. So once you click this, you will be into the editor mode of your website, and you'll start to see some blue sections when you hover over the elements on your website. You'll also see a pop-up here on the right, which is to edit individual sections. As you can see there, it pops up for each one. And here you can access your site header just by hovering over the header area, and you'll start to see a settings box here and the different options for desktop, mobile, and so on. You've got the edit section area here, and then once you click this, you'll see the grid appear behind your content, and this format section is to change the different settings on this grid. So for example, you can change the gap, and you can change how much it fills the screen. You can also add a divider, which I'll go into, and there's some other settings for alignment as well as the height on there. Okay, so let's take a look at the colour scheme settings and the font settings. So for this, we're going to go to Design, Site Styles, and let's start with colours. So if you want to change the whole colour theme of your website, this is where you would go. And at the moment you'll see a palette which is already set, and underneath you'll see some individual themes which can also be edited and set accordingly. So you'll see here when we hover over a section, different themes will appear, and these are referring to these down here on the right. Okay, so let's say we want to completely change the colour style of the website. We're going to click Edit Palette, and Squarespace has some really nice preset colour palettes here, but you can also use an image. So if you have certain colours that you like to use, maybe you have an image that you want to just drag in and drop and let Squarespace pull the colours from it, you can just drop your image there, or you can ask it to use a colour theme from one colour. So there's lots of options here. For example, let's just test one. Let's go for the blue. So once you select a colour theme, you'll be able to see the changes here on the left. So you can see some of the headers have changed, the buttons, some of the background colours, and the links. Let's go for another lighter option just to show you. There you go. So when you change this palette editor, it will change for all sections on your website. So to actually change individual settings, you'd then go into each colour theme here. So let's say, for example, we want to change the background colour of light 1. So we'd go down here, hit the pencil icon, and then we'll see a list of various options for this whole entire theme, which is light 1. So we want to change the background of the banner here, so it's section background. I'm just going to click this. It will automatically give us our palette colours here, so we can choose one from our palette, or we can choose a completely different colour like so. And once you save that, this will be the colour for the backgrounds on any section that you add light 1 to, as an example. So that's the basics of changing the colours. Let's go on to changing fonts. Okay, so similar to a preset, we have a font pack here which is already set. So you can switch your entire font pack, and you can choose between a sans serif, serif or mixed. And once you select one of these, it will change it again on the entire website. So let's find quite a different one. Let's go for 6 caps and let's take a look. Sometimes it takes a while to adjust. There you go. You can see that has changed some of the heading fonts and the body fonts. Quite a drastic change, as you can see. So when you do change a font pack, you might need to adjust some of the sizing on your headings and things, just depending on which one you choose. So we can also go into each individual type of font, basically. So we can choose the heading font, and currently we've got 6 caps, which is part of our font pack. Let's say that we just want to make this smaller, so we go into it and we choose heading 1, and then you can see how heading 1 is now becoming much smaller. We can also hover over a font, which will then bring up the settings for that font. So I think this is heading 2, could be heading 3. There we go, heading 3. So I can adjust that there. And the same for paragraphs. So if you have different sizes that you want to choose, you can do that individually here. So that's the basics of the colour scheme and the fonts. Now I'm going to show you how to change the logo and the header on your website. Right, so to change the logo, we go to Edit at the top, we go into Edit Site Header, and we'll see the settings menu pop up. Okay, and we can move this around, place it wherever we like. So there's lots of different settings here. What we want is site title and logo. Here you will see the logo that's existing, and we just want to hit remove. And we can simply just drag in a new logo onto that editor, and there we go. And we have some settings here as well to change the height, and we also have settings to change the mobile height as well. You can actually add a completely different logo to show on your mobile menu, which might come in handy if you want to use a smaller icon or a different version of your logo, for example. And to access the mobile menu, you would just click this icon here, and you'll get the mobile view on here. And then you can change things like the menu shape, you can change the thickness of that, you can change the overlay menu, which is when somebody selects this, you can change the colours, lots of different settings there. And if we come back into the global settings, we also have access to elements, which is things like the button or social links. If you want to add those, you've got some options there, so you would just add your social links in, and you can change the size and shape of those. Cart icon as well, if you have a shop you might want to show that, and that will appear there. Now we can also change the style of the menu itself. So if we click style, you'll see some different options here. So you can have a solid menu here, which puts a solid block of colour onto the back. You can use a gradient, and you'll see there's the faded gradient just at the top. Theme, logo theme, so what that will do is it will take whichever is your first colour theme on your first section, it will use that. So your menu header might change colour depending on which theme you've used for the first page. And then you've got dynamic, which just uses the entire background of your section below. You can also add a border, and you can choose whether that's just going to show on the top or the bottom, top and bottom, or all the way around. And you can change the thickness there. You've also got the option to have a fixed menu, and what this does is either you can have it as a basic fix, which will keep your menu in a sticky fixed view whether the viewer is scrolling or not, or you can have a scroll back, which means if somebody is scrolling down they won't see the menu, but if they scroll back up they will. So let's just see what that looks like. I'm going to hit save, and there you go, you'll see the menu appear on the scroll back. So when you scroll down, the menu disappears, and when you scroll back up, it is now there. So that's the basics of adding a logo and editing your website header. So next we're going to take a look at blocks and how to insert blocks onto your website. Okay, so we're going to click edit, and where I mentioned before, where you hover over the elements on your website, you'll see this blue box appear, and you'll be able to edit each individual block. Now, to add a block, we simply select add block from the top left, and we've got lots of options here. So we can add a text block, image, a gallery, button, video, a form, newsletter, all sorts of different blocks here. So for now, let's say we want to just add a simple text block. We'll place it in like so, and we can just click and drag that to wherever we like. So let's type some text. There's lots of options here that appear once you've added in a text block. So if we want to change the style of the font, we can do by clicking this part here, which changes the heading or the paragraph style. We can change the colour, and we can also change just individual text colours just by highlighting them, like so. We've also got the option of changing the centre or left or right section there. We can add bullet points or numbers, and we can also add a link. So if you want to add a link on your text, you just select the link icon, type your link in there. So let's just take a look at some of the other blocks. So we're going to go for an image block. Same sort of thing, we'll place it, we can move it around wherever we like. So let's say I want a new image here, and I'm using this template just to show you because I've got lots of blocks set on this one. So let's just drag in an image here. You can either click the plus to select from the library of images that are already on your site, or you can upload one directly from clicking here, or I prefer to just drag and drop. And while the image is loading, it will be sort of like greyed out until it's ready, and you'll see this little load box appear, and there you go. We can resize these images as we like, so really small, just drag the corners and we can again drag these images all the way across the grid. We can also expand them right to the edge here, as you can see. We can make those quite large. We can overlap them, so as I've got here, this is now overlapped onto the top. If you want to change that to go behind, you would simply select move backwards here, and you just keep clicking that until it goes behind, and then you'll see it's gone behind those other images there. Also to note, when you do add blocks onto your website, you'll need to check the mobile view, which is just up here top right. And you'll see that this new block that I added is all the way down here, and it's sort of changed my button area as well, so I need to keep an eye on where that is positioned. So I'm just going to bring that back up, and my image, I want it back up here. I'm just going to resize it for the mobile section like so, and then you would simply click save, and that's saved your mobile view there. So always keep an eye on that, make sure that any new blocks you add, make sure they are set correctly on your mobile view. They also go in order as well, so whichever block you add last, it will appear below on the mobile, so you might want to just keep an eye on those. Let's just take a look at another block example. So here I've added 3 image blocks and 3 text blocks, and I've lined them up next to one another, so it's a nice neat little list. So there's quite a lot you can do with blocks really. You can also add a video block, which is very useful. And there's a few options here with a video block. You can either use a link, so if you hit the plus icon, you can add from YouTube or Vimeo, or you can directly upload a file. Now the good thing with uploading a video file is it gives you the options to actually have that video play automatically, but you have to have mute selected as well, so just remember that. But it's quite good for customers to see a video auto playing, and it might just entice them to, click unmute and watch the video. So video is very simple. We've also got gallery. There's lots of different settings once you add a gallery block. You can also add gallery pages. So you might want a full gallery page as well, which I can show you further in the video. So here's our gallery block, and it will automatically add in some standard stock images there. What we want to do is click the pencil icon here, and then we'll see our gallery show up here. Simply drag in your images. I'm just going to drag that same one in again, and you can see that it's automatically cropped my image, which I don't want it to do. So I'm going to go to design, which is here, and I'm going to tell it I don't want my images to crop. This will choose the number per row, so if you want quite a lot of smaller images, you might want more, or you can go right down to just 1 or 2. This will change the padding between the images. It's actually probably easier if you've got more images in there, you can see. You definitely, if you've got a gallery block, you want people to be able to click each photo and create a light box, so make sure that is clicked, and you can choose whether the background is dark or light once they click on an image. And you can also have links that open in a new window on your images if you choose. And there's some other settings here, so it doesn't have to be a standard grid. You can have a slideshow, which will show your thumbnails below. You can have automatically transition between slides, and you've got the show next previous there. And you've got a standard carousel, which will just have each image going across on a carousel, or you can have stacked, which means one above the other. So have a play about with that. Another good block to use is a form block, which you might want on a contact page. And this is a standard form block here. Again, any blocks you add, if you hover over, select them, you will see the pencil icon appear. and then this will take you to the settings of that particular block. So lots of useful things you can do with a form. You might want to name it specifically if it's a contact form. You can change the button text to whatever you like, and you'll see that there. You can also type in your own message. We'll get back to you soon. Smiley face, because I love smiley faces. Or you can actually redirect. So once somebody has submitted a form, you can redirect them to any other page you like. Remember to fill in the storage, which is where you want your form to go to. So it could be an email, or you might want it to go straight into one of your third-party newsletters, MailChimp, Zapier, whichever you prefer. So back to the content, you've also got edit form fields. And this is the area where you can choose which fields to add. So you can have a checkbox, or you could have a drop-down select option here. And for each individual form block, you can simply just go in and adjust as you like. So you can type a description. You can, I can't spell. Still can't spell. So yeah, for example, if this is a checkbox, you're going to want different options. So you add your options in here, as many as you like. Third option, etc. And you'll see it appear here on your form as you go. So that's the basics of the form block. And as I said, there's lots of different blocks that you can add in here. There's some third-party integrations. You can add an Instagram feed. You can add searches, filter lists, lots of different things you can add in there, or specific coding if you need to add in some code. And yeah, so have a play about, see how you get on. Next, we're going to take a look at how to change image banners or video banners on your Squarespace site. Okay, so let's say that you want to change your background banners on your website. You'll see there's some background banners here on this one and here. So we're going to click Edit. I'm going to wait for the box to appear that says Edit Section. So we're going to click that. And we're going to click Background. And you'll see the current background image will appear here. And I'm just going to remove that for now. And I'm going to choose a different one. Just drag that in. And there we go. That's our full background changed. We've also got some options here. We can use an effect. So when you hover over each one of these effects, you'll see exactly what it does. So we can have like a watery, wavy effect, or there's a film grain and sort of like a parallax on scroll. So you can kind of see that moving as you scroll, which is quite nice. Not too sure about this one, but each to their own. So when you move with the mouse, you'll see that the background image changes on this one. So lots of different effects there. And you might have noticed on this template, I've actually used a divider here. And to get to that, you would go to Format. So let me come out again. So let's say we want to add a divider to our section. We're going to go Edit Section. And here you'll see just at the bottom, divider option. So we're going to click on the divider, and this will give us the different shapes we can choose. So that one's a little bit more subtle. Or we can choose a diagonal. We can choose more of an angled shape. And then whichever one you choose, you've got all the settings below, so you can change the alignment. You can reverse it, flip it the other side, and then you've got the height and the width, if you want it mega wavy. So yeah, divider, very useful. You can also have a stroke, so if you just go back one, you can see here there's a stroke option. So you can have a thin line across, or you can have a dotted line, and you can choose the colour of that, or you can just have no stroke. Totally up to you. Now you can also add a video instead of a static image. So you can also add a video background if you prefer. You can simply add from a link or upload the file directly, and just bear in mind that a video background will actually be muted as well, so there won't be any sound playing on there. And if you do upload a file, just make sure it's not too big in the file size, because you don't want to slow your website down. You've also got the art option, which is some presets that you can select if you just want to use some simple plain backgrounds. So these are Squarespace presets here. Some of them are quite funky. Okay, so that's the basics of background images and videos, and also the web dividers. So next we're going to take a look at actually creating pages and sections on your website. So as I mentioned before, you've got the pages option here on the left, and this will give you a list of pages. Any pages that are set to not linked won't appear in your menu, so just to bear that in mind. So anything you had under not linked won't appear here. Now simply to add a new page, we will click the plus icon, and we have lots of options here. So if you wanted to add a specific blog, store, portfolio event, or a video portfolio, you would use collections. You've also got page layouts as an option. So if you select that, you'll see some layouts which are already preset. And let's say you just want a quick contact page, you'll see there's a contact presets here. If we want general, we can just add a general, or if we just want to start with a completely blank page, we would just click blank. And this is where you would add your page name. Just click enter. There we go. And then we have our empty page. Now we need to add the content in there, so we're going to click edit, and then you'll see the blue add section button appear. So we're going to click add section because there's nothing in there at the moment. And again, we'll be given some really nice presets that we can look through. If there's anything in there that we like, that we want to make our own twist on. So you've got lots of different options: about page, products. So it's a nice quick access. Or again, you can add completely blank, so you can start from scratch. So there's our blank page or the blank section. You'll also see that it's now appeared in the menu because we added it to the main navigation, and you can just drag this around to change the position, and you'll see it will move there. Now, a really good feature for page sections is the fact that you can use saved sections. So for example, if I really like this section on my homepage and I want to use it across my site in other areas, so I don't have to keep adding blocks and building this exact style, what you can do is hit the heart button here, and that will be saved to your saved library. So let's just click a couple here. So I'm going to save that, I'm going to save those, and I hit done. And I'm going to go back to my new page, and I want to add in one of those saved sections to make life a bit quicker. So we just go over here on the left, saved sections, and then you'll see those sections have appeared. So you just simply click, wait for it to load, and there you have it. Let's just try another one here. Another save section. It will also save, if you've added a divider on that section, it will save that as well, as you can see. So it saves a lot of time, very helpful tool, and I use it quite often. So that's the saved section example. You can also completely copy a page. So what you'd want to do is just click on the cog here on each page. You can see that just appear when you hover. We're going to click on the cog, and we've got lots of options here, and we can just see at the bottom we've got duplicate page. So I'm going to hit duplicate. So this is another really cool time saver, really. So it saves a lot of energy, and it will automatically call it copy and put it into your not linked section. So we can see that is completely duplicated the whole page, saving us lots of time. Another thing to remember about pages is once you've built one, you need to make sure that the settings are as you'd like. So again, just hovering over the cog, you'll see we've got some options here to name our page. Home to. And we can change the actual URL link to whatever we like. We can select whether we want to enable this page or not. So if we take that off, it means that page just won't be live. It won't be accessible to anybody. And you can actually set any page to the home page if you like, just by clicking that there. You've got your SEO here as well. So this is where you would add your page title and description, very important for organic growth. You got your social image, so you'd likely want to drag in a social image here. So if you share a specific page on your website, sometimes you'll notice that a nice image will appear. If, let's say, you're sharing your website on Facebook, you'd like it to have a thumbnail image. That's what this area is all about. So make sure that you add a social image there. And then you do have an advanced section, which is if you want to add any additional code to your page, that's where you would inject that code there. Okay, so that's the page settings. And again, just check your mobile view as well, and you'll see in your overlay menu, your new page has appeared there. And this will be in the same position that you've got it set here on your list on the left. So if I move that up again, you'll see it's now moved there. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. Hopefully that covers everything you need to know about pages and page sections. Next, we're going to take a look at how to set up and edit a blog page. So to create a blog, we would go to Pages, and we would hit the plus icon, and in Collections you'll see Blog. And then we'll get this pop-up window that will show us an example of the blog style that we want to use. Okay, so you can have a large blog, or you can have a shorter sort of grid style or a list style blog. I'm just going to select this one for now, and you'll see your blog appear here in your menu, and then it will give you some standard examples just here on the left. Okay, so on the current blog on this site, you'll be able to see that I've already populated some posts, and what you do is you simply just click on one of the blogs, or you add a new one with the plus icon, and you'll have the prompt to enter a title and your content. Now it is slightly different in the way you add blocks to a blog. So instead of being able to drag and move across a grid, you'll have these plus icons. So it's a little bit more restricted, but let's say you just want to add an image, you just simply hit the plus instead. You can also add a spacer, so you can add a space and just drag that to the edge, and make sure you drag it quite precisely so that if you just want a spacer on the left or right, you can use that there. Spacers are really useful on a blog because you might actually want to create a bit of a sort of side menu here. So to do that, you could add in a summary block, which would give a summary snippet basically of any other blog that you've got or products. So for example, I've hit summary and I'm telling it to show this page, which is the other blog. And you can see here summary has appeared on the right. So no matter what blog you've got here, people may also be interested in another blog that you've written. So it's a good idea to have a bit of a sidebar summary if you can. Yeah, so they're the basics. So you can add text, you can add all sorts, buttons, video, all the same blocks that you can add on a normal page. So be as free as you like really there. Once you hover over, you've got the option to publish it. You might want to keep it as a draft for quite a while until you're ready. But once you've created it, when you hover over any blog, you'll see these 3 dots. And if we hit that, we'll see settings. We can duplicate a blog, which is really helpful. Again, if you were having sidebar menus or anything that you want to repeat in all of your posts, duplicating might be a really good idea. Makes it quite quick. But for now, we want to just go to settings, just to make sure that our settings of the post are all there. So you're going to want to add a feature image so that you have an image appear above your blog. You can add an excerpt if you like, which is just a bit of an example of what this blog is about. So that can appear on your main blog page. You've also got the options to add a tag, which is really helpful. So you can add some tags in there, and you can categorize your blogs as well. So if you're, a coach or a teacher, you might want to sort of make a category of free tutorials. I really can't spell today, sorry. You might want hints and tips. And once you've created a couple of categories, you simply tick the one that you want for that blog. Once you've created them, you don't need to create them again. It will automatically remember them for your next one. But this will help organise your blogs and help viewers navigate around your blog page easier, and will help them find what they need to find quickly. On every blog, you also have SEO. And again, you just add in your title, your description here, social image as well, so you can have an individual social image per blog. And you've also got the share option, so if you want to create an email draft straight from the blog, you can do, or connect social media to automatically post. And then you've got location, if you do want to add a location of for this post, basically your address or business address. You can do that here. So yeah, pretty simple really. Once you've made one blog, it will get easier the more you do. So just have a play around with it. Make sure to keep them as a draft until you're absolutely ready for the world to see them. Next, we're going to take a quick look at how to set up a shop on your website. So let's take a look at creating a shop. I've already created one here on this website, but again, you can just simply create a new one, hit the plus icon and go to store. So I'm just going to click through this one that I've already made. Now, you can do quite a few different things in a shop. Again, you'll have the options to add categories. If you see here, I've got bestsellers, I've got new, and you simply click the plus icon to create a brand new product. Or again, you can duplicate a product, which saves time if you've already made one before. So for example, if you want a physical item, you would click physical. If it's a digital download, you'd click that one. If you're selling a membership, it's this one. Or if you're selling appointments, gift cards, services, video on demand. So lots of options there. For now, I'm just going to click physical. And we've got a kind of quick interface here, so we can add a title, an image. I'm just going to click one from the library. This is kind of a very fast upload, but there's quite a few more settings that we can go through here. So let's just add this cup. Very nice antique cup. And we're going to hit next. And we're going to give it a price. So let's say 150. And we've got a stock count here. So this sign obviously means infinity. So if we undo unlimited, we can tell it exactly how many we have. So let's say 50. So when these products are sold, if it does get to 0, or in fact before 0, your Squarespace account will notify you that your stock is getting low. And also if it goes right down to 0, customers won't be able to purchase it. So if you do have stock limits, make sure to add that. And then we've got add more details. So this is where we would add title. So let's put product example, and then we've got the full description. So we want to entice people in this area here. So you can add links as well. So if you've got anything that goes along with your product, you can add a link. Just hover over it, select link here. Type the home page. So this will be one of the main areas to concentrate on. So make sure your descriptions are as good as they can be. I'm going to come back to additional info in a minute. I just want to show you the basics first. So here, pretty simple, drag in as many images as you like. You can tell Squarespace which one you want as the thumbnail, your main image. Again, we've got the price here, which we've already added, and we can put a sale on, which is quite useful. So you could, let's say this is going to be £100 on sale for a limited time. You've got variants option as well, which is really useful. So if we've got 4 types of this product, so let's say we've got a red one, a black one, and a yellow one, that's where we would add in a variant. So for example, let's say yellow, and then just add a comma between blue and green. And then you've got the settings here if you did want to just delete that or rename it. So if we don't want to call it colour, we'll call it choose your colour, sort of like that. And you can add options, so you could maybe have size or a particular material or a completely customized option. So let's say we want small, medium, large. And there we go. And then hit save. You will be able to see this in a minute. We'll go to the example. Just going to go through these settings here. So there's 9 variants, and you can click into it. And let's say that a large is much more than £150. Or let's say that one isn't on sale. So we can take specific variants, we can change their pricing, we can change how many quantities are, and we can change whether they're on sale or not. And that's where you would do it in here. So let's click back. And then we've got our categories. As I said, I've already got a bestseller and a new in here. You might want to put limited or, you know, sort of limited editions, things like that. Also useful to categorize. And then we've got keywords and tags. So you might want to just add some tags in there, you know, antique mug or whatever it is you're selling. Just a few tags there. You've got the option to feature the product. So if you do feature it, it will appear as the feature in your shop. So it will appear first. And then we've got the option to show related products underneath this one. And we've also got product review option. So you can integrate things like Etsy reviews, And what that will do is it will show those reviews on this product preview. And then we've got marketing here, so very important to get your SEO right. So we click edit, and this is the link to your product, and whenever you add a new one it's going to give it a completely random link, so we want to make sure this is quite accurate. Antique mug, try and match your link with the product as best you can, or with a keyword that you want it to rank for. And again, add a description. And this is what's going to show up in Google when anyone searches your product. And then just hit apply. And then you've got social share as well, so this is the image that it will share it with on your social, so you can edit that here and choose a different image for that. We've got some checkout options, so you can customize the button. Automatically it will show add to cart, but you might want to change this. Just hit enable custom label. You might want to buy now or something like that, and then just click apply. And then we've also got custom forms, which is very useful, especially for services in particular. So you might want someone to sign or select terms and conditions before they purchase a specific item, or want them to, if there's anything that you are wanting to personalise, so let's say your product has the option to be personalised, you can add a form in for the customer to type in what personalisation they'd like, and so on. So you simply name your form and add form fields, similar to the form block that's actually a contact form block. So this is basically similar. So you can add a text area, checkbox. It might be that you simply want a bit of a disclaimer on there and you want someone to just tick to say that they've agreed or they acknowledge it. You can add links, dates, times, if it's, you know, sort of delivery date preferred, etc. Or you can collect other information like phone numbers or address, but you will be able to collect those sort of things on the checkout as well. So just treat this form area as an additional sort of action before the item or service or whatever it is purchased. So anything you want the customers to do before purchasing, this is a really good option to do it. And then you would just hit save once it's finished. And once you've done it, you get a little preview here. So actually, just show you a checkbox. There you go. So you see, agree to terms, something like this. Please read, etc. And then you got options. So I don't know. Let's say yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree. Very simple. Save. Apply. Now once you're in this edit mode, you haven't been able to preview anything, but you've gone through all the main settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit save, but we're not going to publish yet because we're not quite ready. So let's just hit save. A new item won't appear here, but if we go to all, because it's not saved, it's not on the live view. So it's here and it says hidden. So we'll just click that and we'll be able to see the preview of the product so far. You also get a layout option as well, so just to select which option. So just make sure it's the same option as your other products. If you've duplicated a product, you won't need to select that. Okay, so here's the product we've just made, and you can see we've got our drop downs, small, medium, say medium blue, and there you go, you can see that one is on sale. Medium, so small, large, yellow, that was it. So that was the one that we took off sale, and you can see the price changes there. We've got an automatic quantity, so this is already set. So you can select the quantity there, and you can see the buy now button, which we changed. So that's the preview, so it's looking good. And as I mentioned before, there is an additional information area on products, so I'm going to show you that now, and that will appear at the bottom of the product here. So it's a good way to just show some additional information about your product, so people can kind of read on more if they're not convinced to buy yet. So that's a good option. So once we're in the preview, we can then go to edit here, edit product, just to take us back into those settings. And then you'll see here we've got additional information, so we're going to click here. And again, similar to the blog post, we have these plus icons to add blocks. There's already a text block here, so let's just put additional information. And we might want this to be quite bold, so let's go heading 3. Okay, and we might want to put another image here, maybe sort of like the making process. There you go, and let's just pop a spacer in there because it's very big, so I'm just going to drag that over here, right to the side. I'm going to drag that over, and then maybe we could add some more text here. So okay, and then hit apply, save, and then we'll be able to see the preview of those additional information we added there. Let's just let it load. There we go. So there we have our additional information, the image and the extra bit of text there. So you can add buttons again, forms, call to actions, anything you like really down there. And remember again, on the mobile, you can't actually edit the layout of this section on a mobile, but you can just check it, make sure everything's looking in order and everything works fine. So that's the basics of building a shop on Squarespace. Pretty easy to do, and again, once you get going, I'm pretty sure you'll pick it up very, very fast. So that wraps up the essentials that you need to know to build a Squarespace website. If this tutorial helped you out, subscribe to my channel or visit my website where you can find a ton of useful Squarespace hints and tips to elevate your website design. Happy designing!